There are moments in life when everything seems to stop. Moments when the noise of the world fades, and all that's left is a quiet stillness, a silence that feels alive. In that silence, something begins to stir deep within your soul. You may not see it with your eyes, but you can feel it, like a gentle whisper inside your heart. It's the voice of heaven calling you. Perhaps you've felt tired lately. Perhaps you've been searching for answers, praying, wondering, waiting for a sign. Maybe you've been asking, God, do you still hear me? Do you still care? And now, as you listen to these words, the answer comes. The light you see before you is not ordinary light. It is alive, it breathes, it moves, it loves. It is the light that has always followed you, even when you walked through darkness. You didn't lose it, you simply stopped looking. Now, heaven is opening once again. The veil between the seen and unseen grows thin. And through that veil, a figure begins to emerge, tall, radiant, magnificent beyond human words. He stands surrounded by golden fire, yet the fire does not burn, it heals. His wings stretch wide across the horizon, shining with colors of white, silver, and sapphire blue. Each feather glows with divine light, a reflection of truth, courage, and peace. It is Archangel Michael, the great protector of light, the defender of souls, the guardian of faith. His eyes, deep and filled with compassion, rest gently upon you. There is no judgment in his gaze, only love, the kind of love that sees everything you are and still calls you worthy. He lifts his sword, glowing with holy fire, not to strike, but to bless. As he speaks, the sound of his voice rolls like a soft thunder, yet it carries warmth and calm. Archangel Michael says, "Do not be afraid. The storm has been long, but the dawn has come. You have walked through many shadows, but not one of them has overcome you. Heaven has seen your tears, your battles, your silent prayers whispered in the dark. You are not forgotten." His words wrap around you like a gentle wind. You can feel your heart beginning to open, the weight you've carried for years slowly lifting. For the first time in a long time, you can breathe freely. The air feels different, lighter, cleaner, as if heaven itself is filling your lungs. Archangel Michael continues. You have been called, child of light. Not to fear, not to doubt, but to remember. Remember who you are, a spark of God's eternal flame. You were never meant to live in the shadows of guilt or shame. You were meant to rise. And as he speaks those words, the light around him brightens. It spreads across the sky, gold turning to white, white turning to radiant silver, until the whole world is bathed in peace. The clouds part. The heavens open wider. And from within the brilliance of that light, another figure begins to appear. The air grows still. The light becomes warmer. Every heartbeat slows, and your soul knows, even before your eyes can see. This is not an angel. This is something, someone, greater. His presence carries the scent of lilies, the warmth of the sun, and the peace of eternity. Every sound, every fear, every thought fades away. Because now, standing beside Michael, clothed in radiant light, is Jesus Christ. The King of Heaven. The Shepherd of lost souls. The one who walked among men, and still walks beside you today. He looks at you with eyes full of mercy, not with fire, but with love so deep that words cannot describe it. You feel it in every part of your being, a love that forgives, heals, and renews. And in that moment, you understand. This message is not just for the world. It's for you. Type Amen and subscribe if you believe in God. The air around you feels charged with peace. Every breath seems to carry light itself, as if heaven has opened its arms to embrace you. The world that once felt heavy now feels weightless, filled with calm. Before you stands Archangel Michael, his presence vast, yet gentle. The glow around him hums softly, like the rhythm of creation itself. Every part of his being shines with purpose and love. He is strength and serenity woven into one form. As you look at him, you sense that he knows you, not just who you are now, but who you have always been. He knows every fear that has followed you, every scar that still aches in silence. Yet in his gaze, there is no disappointment, only compassion deeper than the ocean itself. He steps closer, his voice calm and filled with light. Archangel Michael. Do you know why you are here? You were called, beloved one. Not by chance, not by fate, but by love itself. The Father saw the weight upon your heart, and he sent me to remind you of the truth that cannot die. His words sink into you, soft yet powerful. They move through every part of your soul like waves, washing away layers of pain you didn't even realize you carried. You open your mouth to speak, but no words come, only tears. Michael smiles gently. Archangel Michael. You do not need to speak. Heaven already knows what your heart is saying. Every sigh, every cry, every prayer you whispered into the night was heard. You are not unseen. You are not forgotten. He turns his gaze toward the horizon, where the first light of dawn begins to rise. The soft gold touches the sky, and in its reflection, you see memories of your life, moments of joy, loss, confusion, hope. It feels like time itself pauses to let you look at the story of your soul. Archangel Michael. There were times you thought you failed, but heaven saw your courage. There were moments you thought you were alone, but angels surrounded you. There were days when you felt unloved, but every heartbeat of heaven whispered your name in love. You look at him, overwhelmed by the peace in his presence. There is no command, no demand, only invitation. Archangel Michael. This is not a warning of fear, but a call to awakening. The world has been loud, full of shadows, full of distractions that made you forget your divine spark. But within you burns a light that cannot be taken away. That light is your soul, and your soul belongs to God. His wings unfold wider now, vast, radiant, beautiful beyond description. The motion sends ripples of light through the air, as if the atmosphere itself recognizes his holiness. Archangel Michael. The time has come to rise again. The time has come to remember who you are, not what the world has told you to be, but who heaven created you to be. You were made for love, not fear. You were made for light, not despair. You were made to walk with God. His sword glows brighter, yet it gives no fear. Its light touches the ground, forming a pathway made of gold and silver light that stretches endlessly forward. Archangel Michael. This is your path. It is not always easy, but it is true. Every step you take in love, every act of kindness, every moment of forgiveness, leads you closer to the heart of heaven. You look down at the path and realize that it glows brightest beneath your feet, as though your faith itself is lighting the way. Archangel Michael. Do not be afraid of the days ahead. The world will tremble and shift, but those who walk with faith will not fall. For light cannot be overcome by darkness. And those who walk in truth will never be lost. His voice softens even more, carrying a gentleness that feels like sunlight touching water. Archangel Michael. I have fought many battles, not of steel and flame, but of faith and spirit. The greatest battle is not outside of you. It is within. It is the choice between love and fear. Choose love, always. You feel something awaken deep within you, a quiet courage, a warmth that spreads from your heart outward. It's not loud, not dramatic, but steady and alive. Archangel Michael looks at you once more, his eyes glowing with holy light. Archangel Michael. The Father is near. His hand has never left your life. Even when you doubted, even when you felt unworthy, he held you close. You are his creation, his miracle, his child. You close your eyes. The words echo through you like a sacred song. When you open them again, you see Michael lowering his sword. The light from it flows upward, into the sky, spreading across the heavens like dawn stretching across the sea. He turns back to you, a smile of peace upon his face. Archangel Michael. The message I bring is simple: you are loved. Not because of what you've done, not because of what you've achieved, but because of who you are in his eyes. That love is eternal. That love never ends. He takes one final step closer, and places his hand gently over your heart. You feel warmth unlike anything you've ever known, deep, healing, infinite. Archangel Michael. Let go of the past. Forgive yourself. Let your soul breathe again. Heaven is not far away, it lives within you. And soon, you will see the one who loves you most. As he steps back, the light behind him grows even brighter, filling the sky with radiance. You feel peace washing through every part of you, the kind of peace that feels like coming home after a long, long journey. You lift your head, and in the brilliance above, another light begins to form, stronger, warmer, divine beyond measure. It is the presence of Jesus Christ, walking through the light toward you. The air stills, and your heart beats with quiet awe. The time has come for heaven's greatest message, the message of mercy, love, and eternal grace. Jesus stands before you, radiant, yet gentle. The light surrounding him is unlike anything you have ever seen. It is not blinding, it is warm, alive, and filled with a love that reaches the very center of your being. When he looks at you, time feels as though it pauses. Every worry, every burden, every thought that ever weighed upon your heart begins to dissolve. You see yourself reflected in his eyes, not the broken, uncertain version of you that the world has made you believe, but the pure soul that heaven has always known. He smiles softly, and his voice carries the calm strength of eternity. Jesus. My beloved, do not be afraid. You have walked through storms and valleys, through nights that felt endless, but I have been with you through it all. Every tear you shed was seen, every prayer you whispered was heard, even when you thought no one listened. I have never left you. I have never forgotten you. You feel his words move through you like a river of peace, flowing into every hidden place inside your soul. Jesus. You ask why your journey has been so hard, why the road has been steep and full of trials. It is not because I wanted you to suffer, but because your soul is being refined, shaped into something radiant and strong. Pain does not destroy your light, it reveals it. Every challenge you faced was a step closer to remembering the strength within you, the strength that comes from me. He raises his hand and gestures toward the horizon, where soft golden light ripples like waves over calm water. Jesus. The world is changing, and hearts are awakening. There is a stirring in the spirit of humankind, a call from heaven that many can feel but few understand. That is why you are here. You are part of this awakening. You are one of the lights chosen to shine in the midst of darkness. His voice grows even gentler, like a whisper of wind through leaves. Jesus. The enemy wants you to believe that you are alone, that your prayers have no power, that your faith is too small. But even the smallest spark of faith can set the night on fire. You are never too far, never too broken, never too late to begin again. You are loved, now and always. You feel your heart beating faster, not from fear, but from recognition, as though something ancient and sacred within you has been reawakened. Your soul remembers me. Long before this world, before your first breath, you knew my love. You walked in the light of heaven, and that light still burns within you. It cannot be taken, not by time, not by sin, not by pain. It is eternal. He steps closer, and his light reaches your heart like sunlight through open windows. Every shadow that has ever haunted you begins to fade. Memories of mistakes, regrets, shame, they dissolve, as if washed away by divine mercy itself. Jesus. Forgive yourself, my beloved. The past does not define you. What defines you is the love that never left you, the love that I placed in your heart before you even knew my name. You are more than what you've done. You are more than what you've lost. You are mine. Tears fall freely now, not from sorrow, but from release. You realize how long you have carried your pain, how tightly you've held on to guilt and self-blame. And now, standing in his presence, it all melts away like frost before the morning sun. He continues speaking, his tone filled with tenderness and power. Jesus. The world tells you to seek power, wealth, approval, things that vanish like smoke. But I call you to seek peace, love, and truth, treasures that will never fade. You do not need to prove your worth to the world. You are already worthy in the eyes of heaven. He extends his hand toward you. When you place yours in his, warmth floods through your entire being, a sacred connection that feels older than time. You can feel his love pulsing like light through your veins. Jesus. Do you feel that? That is life. That is grace. That is the truth of who you are. You are not meant to wander in confusion. You are meant to walk in purpose, to speak kindness, to shine light where others see only darkness. He looks out toward the world, and his expression grows both sorrowful and hopeful. Jesus. The earth is in pain. So many have forgotten the language of the soul. They chase noise, distraction, and fear, and they wonder why they feel so empty. But I am calling them back, one by one, through moments like this. Through voices like yours. Be my messenger, my vessel of peace. Remind them that love still reigns. You listen in silence, trembling at the honor of such a calling. But he smiles again, a smile full of gentleness and reassurance. Jesus. You are not asked to be perfect. You are asked to be willing. When you open your heart to love, heaven moves through you. Every word of kindness, every act of compassion, every prayer whispered in faith, these are the ways my light reaches the world. You look into his eyes, and the universe seems to unfold within them, galaxies of light, oceans of peace, eternity itself shining in perfect stillness. Jesus. Awakening is not about seeing visions or hearing voices. It is about remembering love. When you forgive, you awaken. When you choose peace instead of anger, you awaken. When you lift another soul, you awaken. And when you choose me, you awaken to the truth that heaven is already within you. He touches your forehead lightly, and a wave of light passes through you. Your heart feels open, your mind calm, your spirit alive. Jesus. You have been chosen to carry light, not to preach, but to live it. Not to boast, but to love. Not to fear, but to trust. Every soul you meet is another chance to let heaven shine through you. He lowers his hand and smiles once more. Jesus. The time for hiding is over. The time for awakening has come. Stand in your light, beloved one, for the world needs it now more than ever. The glow around him brightens, not as a warning, but as a blessing. You can feel your spirit rising, your heart expanding, your faith deepening. And from that divine stillness, you realize, you are no longer the same. Something inside you has awakened, something ancient and pure. It is the voice of God, alive within you. It is the beginning of your return to the light. The air begins to shimmer with golden brilliance. Every breath grows lighter, every sound softer, as if all creation itself has fallen silent. Then, through the veil of radiant mist, a sacred presence appears, a being made of pure light, radiating peace so deep it quiets every fear. The robe glows like the dawn. The eyes hold eternity, filled with compassion that seems to see all things, yet judge nothing. The heart recognizes the presence instantly, not with fear, but with awe. This is love itself made visible, living, breathing, eternal. Knees tremble and fall to the ground, not out of shame, but in reverence. A gentle hand, bright as sunlight through glass, reaches forward and lifts the soul with ease. Rise, child of heaven. You were never created to bow beneath guilt. Stand tall in grace, for your soul was born from love itself. The words fall softly, yet their weight is eternal. Every burden lightens, every shadow fades. The light expands, wrapping around everything like a warm embrace. Every silent prayer has been heard. Every tear has been seen. In moments of despair, divine love stood beside every heart that cried in secret. Even when pain felt endless, the light was already on its way. The sound of those words isn't merely heard, it vibrates within the soul. It feels ancient, powerful, and true. No wound is beyond healing. No scar too deep for redemption. The mistakes of the past are not chains, but lessons, paths that led the spirit back to compassion. Forgiveness is not a prize to earn, it is a gift that flows freely from the heart of heaven. Tears fall like a gentle rain. They cleanse the heart, washing away the pain carried for too long. Guilt softens into grace. Fear melts into peace. The soul feels renewed, light, and whole. Love answers every heart that seeks it. It does not choose based on worthiness, for worthiness was never lost. The moment faith turns toward heaven, heaven responds. As the radiance grows stronger, visions begin to unfold like memories painted in light. A small child laughing in innocence. A weary heart praying in silence. A soul walking through storms and still searching for hope. And in every scene, the same golden glow appears, sometimes as a spark, sometimes as a guiding warmth. It was always there, quietly leading the way, unseen but faithful. The presence that guided those steps has never left. Even in the loneliest nights, love remained. Even in the silence, grace was near. Now the time has come to remember. The glow reaches farther, stretching across the horizon, as if the entire earth is being touched by its light. The world longs for peace, for truth, for the return of love. Darkness grows when hearts forget their divine origin. But light rises again through awakened souls, those who choose kindness instead of anger, compassion instead of judgment. A flame ignites within, not a fire of destruction, but one of purpose. It feels ancient and sacred, like something written into existence before time began. The gifts within are not accidents, they were placed for this moment. Let them awaken. Let every word become a seed of hope. Let every act reflect the light that was placed in the soul since the beginning. The atmosphere becomes alive, shimmering, breathing, full of warmth. The presence gazes toward the heavens, eyes filled with both sadness and radiant promise. The earth trembles beneath the weight of fear, yet the remedy has already been given. Pure, patient love remains the greatest power that will ever exist. Through love, the lost will be found. Through love, the broken will be restored. Through love, the forgotten will remember who they are. The heartbeat grows stronger, steady, peaceful. Every breath feels sacred, every moment alive with divine energy. A soft current of air moves through the light, carrying words that feel eternal. Awakening begins when love is remembered. When anger becomes forgiveness, the soul rises. When compassion replaces judgment, heaven touches the earth. And when faith returns, miracles unfold in silence. A gentle hand touches the center of the forehead, a wave of peace floods through every part of being. The mind stills. The heart opens. The spirit awakens. The time of hiding has ended. The time of shining has begun. Let truth guide every step. Let faith be the breath of the soul. The world waits for the light sleeping within its children. The brilliance begins to soften, not fading, but settling deep within the heart. The sacred presence becomes one with the soul, no longer separate, but part of its very essence. And in that stillness, one truth shines brighter than all others. Love was never lost. It has always been here, eternal, infinite, alive. The golden light remains, soft and steady. It no longer surrounds from the outside, it now lives within, glowing quietly beneath every heartbeat. The air feels alive, breathing with unseen peace. In that silence, a gentle knowing begins to form, like dawn breaking over the soul. Forgiveness. A word so often spoken, yet rarely understood in its truest form. It is not forgetting. It is not pretending pain never happened. It is the sacred act of releasing what no longer belongs to the heart. A whisper moves through the still air, not heard by the ears, but by the spirit itself. Forgiveness is freedom. It is not for the ones who caused the pain, it is for the one who carries it. Let it go, and what was heavy becomes light. Let it go, and peace will find its way home. The words echo gently within, weaving through every memory that still lingers in shadows. Moments of hurt begin to rise, faces, voices, broken promises, yet instead of anger, a new softness begins to bloom. Each image becomes surrounded by light. Each memory loses its weight. And slowly, the soul understands, forgiveness does not excuse the past, it transforms it. Another whisper flows through the silence. Those who caused pain were also lost in their own darkness. Forgive, not because they deserve it, but because the heart deserves peace. Tears fall again, not from grief, but from release. Every drop feels like the soul unclenching, like the gates of heaven opening a little wider inside the heart. The golden light flickers brighter, a living heartbeat of the divine. Faith begins to rise alongside forgiveness. It doesn't come as thunder or flame, but as a quiet confidence, as soft as breath. Faith does not demand proof, it simply trusts that light will always find a way through. Another voice within speaks. Faith is not the absence of fear, it is the courage to walk forward even when fear whispers otherwise. Faith is the bridge between what is seen and what is promised. It is the song that keeps playing in the dark until the dawn arrives. The heart begins to steady. The air feels warm again, glowing with promise. Every inhale feels sacred, as if the universe itself exhales peace into the soul. Memories of doubt appear, but they fade as quickly as they rise. The light within grows stronger, whispering silently. The seed of faith lives in every heart, waiting to be watered with trust. When storms come, faith does not remove them, it gives the strength to stand through them. The vision shifts again. A scene unfolds, a vast field beneath a sky filled with stars. Each star pulses with living light, each one representing a soul upon the earth. Some glow brightly, others flicker weakly, nearly lost in the dark. Yet every single one is connected by invisible threads of light, all leading back to the same divine source. A gentle understanding fills the heart. Faith is what keeps those stars shining. It is the quiet force that binds creation together. Even when clouds hide the heavens, the stars do not disappear, they only wait to be seen again. Do not lose faith when the night feels long, the whisper says. For light has never once failed to return. Trust in what cannot be seen, and miracles will follow. The soul feels lighter, as if lifted by unseen hands. Forgiveness and faith intertwine like golden threads, weaving a new garment for the spirit, radiant, whole, unburdened. Now the heart begins to see life differently. No longer as a series of mistakes or wounds, but as a sacred journey. Every scar becomes a mark of transformation. Every tear becomes a seed that watered new strength. The presence of the divine feels near again, not standing above, but within, pulsing in perfect rhythm with the soul. A whisper flows once more through the stillness. True faith is not built in comfort. It is built in the places where light seemed lost but love remained. Every moment of pain became a doorway. Every trial, an invitation to rise higher. The light grows softer now, more intimate, like a warm embrace that cannot be broken. The heart feels steady. The mind is clear. The spirit, awakened. It becomes clear that forgiveness and faith are not separate paths, they are one. Forgiveness opens the gate, faith walks through it. Forgiveness empties the heart, faith fills it again with light. Hold both close, the whisper says. For they are the wings of the soul, one to release the past, and one to reach what is yet to come. A gentle wind begins to stir, carrying sense of something pure, rain, earth, life itself. The golden glow begins to blend with the air, until everything becomes a single shade of living light. The heart feels limitless. Peace spreads outward like ripples across still water. And for the first time, it feels possible to truly let go, to trust again, to believe that all things, even pain, can become part of something holy. The final whisper moves like a breath through eternity. Forgive all things, and faith will never leave. Where love is allowed to heal, miracles are born. Walk in peace, for the divine walks with every soul that chooses light over fear. The vision begins to fade, but the warmth stays behind, glowing softly within the chest, as if heaven itself has taken root there. Every heartbeat feels like a reminder. The story is not over. It is just beginning, rewritten in the language of love. The glow of forgiveness fades gently into stillness, and from that stillness, a new light begins to rise. It is softer, purer, not the light of revelation, but of direction. It calls the soul forward, guiding like a whisper that knows the way. The path unfolds not upon the earth, but within the heart. It is not made of stone or dust, but of choices, each step carved by faith, each moment shaped by love. Every breath taken in trust becomes a bridge toward the eternal. The journey toward salvation is not a single road, it is 1,000 small awakenings woven together. It is learning to see beauty in brokenness, to find purpose in pain, and to recognize divinity in every ordinary thing. A calm voice stirs within the silence. The path is not hidden. It has always been beneath the feet, waiting to be seen. When the heart turns toward light, every shadow becomes a teacher, every sorrow becomes a map. The heart listens, and understanding begins to bloom. The storms that once seemed cruel were never meant to destroy, they were meant to clear the way. Every trial carried a lesson, every loss held a hidden gift. The path to light is not about escaping the world, it is about transforming within it. It is not found in distance, but in depth. It begins wherever faith decides to begin again. The presence of peace grows stronger, unseen, but unmistakable. It moves like air through a forest, touching every leaf, every breath. Do not seek perfection, the whisper says. Seek sincerity. Even the smallest step taken in truth echoes through eternity. The soul walks further. The scenery within begins to change, darkness gives way to dawn. Every memory once painful now glows with gentle light, no longer sharp, no longer cold. The realization comes, salvation is not a faraway promise. It is a returning, a homecoming of the spirit. It is remembering what was never truly lost. Each step forward becomes lighter than the last. The air feels pure, filled with the scent of morning after rain. The inner world begins to mirror heaven, calm skies, still waters, radiant peace. The voice within continues, soft as wind over water. The path to light does not demand grand acts or miracles. It asks for openness, a heart willing to love, to forgive, to trust again. Each act of kindness becomes a torch. Each word spoken in compassion becomes a star that guides others through the dark. A vision unfolds before the mind's eye, a field of souls, countless and luminous. Each one walking their own journey, each carrying their own light. Some move quickly, some stumble, some pause in silence, but none are forgotten. All are moving toward the same horizon, drawn by the same unseen love. The understanding deepens, salvation is not a solitary path. It is a chorus of awakening hearts, rising together toward the source of all light. Every soul that remembers love becomes a bridge for another to cross. The light within brightens again, pulsing like a heartbeat. It speaks without words, yet every thought becomes clear. To walk the path is to live as light itself. When love becomes the choice, peace follows. When peace becomes the foundation, the divine flows freely through all things. The scenery of the heart expands, mountains of hope rising in the distance, rivers of mercy flowing endlessly. Each element feels alive, reflecting the perfection of creation. Everything is connected, sky to earth, breath to eternity. The lesson grows deeper. The path to salvation is not about arriving, it is about becoming. It is the transformation of the heart into a vessel of love, until love becomes the only truth left to speak. There are moments of silence, long, still pauses that feel sacred. In that silence, there is no struggle, no question, no separation. Only unity, all things glowing in the same divine rhythm. The path of light, the whisper continues, is not found through seeking control, but through surrender. To surrender is not to give up, but to trust in what is greater, wiser, eternal. When the heart surrenders, the burden falls away. The soul learns to fly. Waves of peace roll through the spirit like gentle tides. They move through memories, through wounds, through doubts, cleansing everything they touch. Every fear begins to dissolve in the brilliance of acceptance. Every uncertainty becomes an opportunity to trust deeper. And in that trust, something sacred takes root, a quiet joy that asks for nothing and gives everything. The light begins to expand outward again, reaching beyond the self, touching unseen souls across distance and time. It flows like a river made of grace, connecting every heart that chooses to awaken. The understanding settles deeply. Salvation was never meant for one alone. It is the song of many voices, each one carrying a note of divine harmony. The more love is shared, the louder that song becomes, echoing through creation until the whole world remembers its true sound. The wind grows still. The golden light hovers like a soft flame above the heart. And in that quiet glow comes one final truth. Walk gently upon this path. Every step taken in love is holy. Every moment lived in kindness adds another ray of light to the world. The way to salvation is not beyond reach, it begins with one decision, to love, again and again, without end. The field of light begins to fade, but not completely. Its warmth lingers, weaving through the soul like the memory of sunrise. The heart knows, without words, that the path is eternal. It will continue through time, through lives, through worlds, until all things return to the one light from which they came. And as silence settles once more, the spirit whispers softly into the stillness of creation. I am home. The light that once surrounded everything now lives within. It moves gently, like a river flowing through the soul, washing away the remnants of fear, doubt, and sorrow. What was once divided becomes whole again. The heart beats in rhythm with eternity, and the spirit knows its own reflection in the divine. Transformation does not arrive like thunder. It comes quietly, a soft dawn breaking after a long night. It begins with the smallest spark of awareness, a subtle shift in the way the world is seen. What once felt heavy now seems lighter. What once caused pain now holds meaning. The inner self begins to open like a flower turning toward sunlight. Every petal, once closed in protection, now unfolds in trust. This unfolding is sacred. It is not the creation of something new, it is the revealing of what has always been there. The shadows that once frightened no longer hold power. They become teachers, gentle reminders of how far the spirit has traveled. Even the scars begin to shine, each one a symbol of survival, of lessons learned, of love rediscovered. The transformation deepens. The heart becomes a sanctuary, not a place of escape, but of presence. Within that sanctuary, peace rests like still water. Every thought that rises meets understanding instead of resistance. Every wound meets compassion instead of judgment. The realization comes that nothing was ever truly separate. Every moment, every being, every fragment of creation is connected by the same eternal breath. Even in silence, everything is speaking. Even in stillness, everything is moving toward light. The spirit understands, transformation is not a change of what is seen, but a change of sight itself. It is seeing with eyes that no longer search for flaw but recognize beauty in all things. It is hearing harmony in what once sounded like chaos. It is knowing that love is not something to be found, it is something to remember. Time feels different here. Moments stretch like sunlight across endless fields. Each second feels eternal, as though the present itself has become a temple. In that space, there is no need to rush, no fear of what comes next. Everything already exists in perfect balance. A quiet presence fills the heart again, gentle, vast, infinite. It is not separate from the self, it is the self. It carries wisdom older than time, a peace that cannot be disturbed. It whispers not in words but through knowing, this is what it means to awaken. Not to rise above life, but to be fully within it. The soul begins to see through the veil of illusion. The endless search, the striving, the fear of being unworthy, all dissolve like mist beneath the sun. What remains is simplicity. Just breath, light, and the awareness of being held by something eternal and kind. The revelation unfolds slowly, as if the universe itself is taking a breath. The divine was never somewhere distant. It was always here, quietly waiting behind every heartbeat, every tear, every act of kindness. It lives in laughter, in stillness, in forgiveness, in the smallest gestures of love. This realization fills the spirit like light filling a sacred hall. Every corner shines, every shadow disappears. The world no longer feels like a burden to carry, it feels like a gift to be honored. Each sunrise becomes a message. Each star becomes a reminder. Each life becomes a reflection of the eternal light that breathes through all creation. Transformation reaches its peak not in grand miracles, but in quiet acceptance. In realizing that even imperfection has its place within divine perfection. That every broken piece was part of a greater design, a mosaic of experience meant to reveal truth through contrast. The heart opens wider than ever before, expanding beyond what words can capture. It begins to embrace all, the lost, the forgotten, the weary, the wandering. Every soul is seen as sacred, every journey as holy. The spirit understands that to love the whole world is to finally love oneself. In that moment, the revelation completes itself. It is not an ending, but a return, a remembering of the beginning before beginnings. The essence of all things glows like a single flame shared endlessly without ever diminishing. There is no separation between the giver and the receiver, no distance between heaven and earth. Peace settles like a warm breeze across eternity. The light becomes softer now, not because it fades, but because the eyes have grown used to it. It no longer needs to dazzle to be seen, it simply is. It breathes through every heartbeat, every sigh, every silence. The journey that began in uncertainty now ends in clarity. The soul that once sought answers now becomes the answer itself, radiant, steady, eternal. There is no longer a need to search, to strive, or to fear. All has returned to stillness, to truth, to the source. A new understanding dawns. The final revelation is not about the end of the journey. It is about becoming the journey itself, the flow of divine life moving through every experience. It is about being the light that was once sought in others. It is about being the peace that was once prayed for. It is about realizing that salvation was never a place to reach, but a state to remember. The transformation completes its sacred circle. The light that once came from above now shines from within, steady and eternal. The divine and the self are no longer two, they are one, breathing as the same eternal presence. And in the infinite stillness of that unity, a final whisper echoes softly through the soul. Be still in the knowing that all is well. The path is walked, the heart is found, the light is eternal. There was never a separation, only a forgetting. Now remembrance has returned, and with it, peace beyond measure. The story fades into silence, not an ending, but a beginning without end. The light remains. The peace endures. And eternity continues, whispering through the hearts of all creation. The light grows gentle now. It no longer shines to awaken, but to comfort. It rests upon creation like a warm breath of peace, wrapping all things in quiet grace. The journey that began in uncertainty has returned to stillness. The circle has closed, yet within that circle, everything continues. All that was learned, all that was felt, remains in the silence. The echoes of love linger in the air like the final notes of a sacred song. Nothing is lost, nothing forgotten. Every moment that passed has become part of eternity's memory. The heart stands open, serene, no longer seeking, no longer afraid. There is only calm awareness, a gentle knowing that all is exactly as it was meant to be. The winds of doubt have quieted, the storms of fear have stilled. Peace reigns like dawn after endless night. The light within the spirit glows steady, not to blind, but to guide. It will remain, through days and years, through silence and sound. It will whisper through every sunrise, through every act of kindness, through every breath that remembers love. The truth has been revealed. The divine is not beyond reach. It is here, in every heart that chooses to see, in every soul that chooses to live in harmony. It does not speak in thunder or demand through fire, it moves gently, always patient, always near. The path of awakening continues through every act of compassion, every step of forgiveness, every spark of hope. Each kind word becomes a prayer. Each good deed becomes a beam of light stretching across unseen realms. And through that light, the world becomes whole again. In this stillness, a final peace descends. The spirit bows to the great mystery, not in fear, but in awe. It understands now that everything is connected, that every life, every soul, every breath belongs to the same eternal rhythm. And that rhythm, ancient and endless, is made entirely of love. Let that love move through the world like water through stone. Let it flow through hearts that are weary, through minds that are lost, through hands that are searching for purpose. Let it rise like dawn, again and again, until the darkness of the world remembers its own light. Every listener who has walked this journey, every heart that has felt these words, now carries a flame within. That flame is not fragile, it is eternal. It was born before time began, and it will outlast the stars. It asks for nothing but to be shared, in kindness, in understanding, in peace. Let that flame be shared. Let the message continue beyond this moment, beyond this voice, beyond this story. For as long as light is shared, darkness can never return. And as long as love is remembered, the divine remains alive in all things. So let the final blessing be this. May peace walk beside every step. May light fill every corner of thought. May love speak in every silence. May the spirit remember always, it was never alone. And when the night feels long, may the heart remember this truth. The dawn is certain. The light is faithful. The journey is eternal. The story ends where it began, in the quiet presence of the sacred. Not with a farewell, but with a promise. That the light will always return. That love will never fade. That every heart, in time, will find its way home. The final glow softens, fading into the stillness of eternity. Only peace remains, vast, endless, eternal. Let this message of light continue forward. Let it reach those who need it most. Let it remind the world of its own divine heart. And as this chapter closes, let gratitude rise, for the journey, for the awakening, for the endless love that sustains all creation. May peace be eternal. May light be unending. May love be the language of all hearts, now, and forever. If this message touched the spirit, allow it to ripple outward. Share it. Let others feel this same calm, this same light, this same remembrance. For every act of sharing spreads the divine flame further into the world. Until the next moment of awakening, let peace remain. Let light endure. And let love guide every breath.